Yeah, I am.
Oh yeah. Delicious. Muddy Buddies. Delicious. We're an ASMR podcast, right?
No.
We're not? Hey guys, how's it going? It's been 2 weeks, and we live somewhere else now. Wow!
Ooh!
Yeah, over the course of the past 2 weeks, we have both moved our entire lives to a brand new place in a brand new state, and it's been hell, but we're here now, and we're excited, and we're happy to be here, and we're happy to bring some more content to you with a lovely new room that is so much smaller than the last one, you probably won't even hear
An echo.
Echo.
I'm excited to get back into things because I just feel like we've been in a bit of a creative rut, but we're gonna just scoot on past it.
We're ready to dip and dive out of the way of all this this I've lost my train of thought at this point. You want to just talk about stuff and things?
Yeah.
So, I really couldn't think of anything to talk about today because I've been so focused on moving. I thought to myself, why don't I just talk about moving? It's something we all got to do, something we could all relate to. I don't know how much I want to share of my own personal experience other than the fact that I got trampled by every single piece of furniture that I own on the way up the staircase to get to our place. Ooh, and we also threw a couch up a flight of stairs. That was pretty crazy.
Interesting. I did not have anything that exciting happen with moving.
Well, we had way too much big furniture and too many stairs. I mean, you've seen how narrow those stairs are out there. I mean, we got this up there.
True. It was a much smaller staircase than what we had to deal with.
But we're here now. It looks great. I was honestly I was kind of interested in looking up some stories from other people and seeing seeing if I could do that thing that we humans do and pull some nice what's the word, Schadenfreude out of the experience. So I've actually got a couple of them pulled up here. We'll just hop right into it. It's just ask Reddit.
Oh, okay.
I got a little Reddit pulled up here. Just a little bitty Reddit.
Well, the question in the initial post is, what's your moving horror story?
From Hulk Hogan 304. Had to drive for two... Wait, it's Hulk Hogan. Should I do the...
Yeah.
Ooh, I had to drive 2 straight days on the road just to live where I moved for a month and come straight home because it was truly awful, brother. Also, there are frogs all over the bathroom as well as huge spiders all over the house. Wait, that was Macho Man.
Close enough.
Close enough.
I mean, is there really a huge difference between Hulk Hogan and Macho Man Randy Savage?
I wouldn't... well, one of them is alive.
Rest in peace, Macho Man.
Too young. Or sweet Macho Man.
Gone but never forgotten.
Never forgotten. I mean, Hulky and the Macho Man used to hate each other, so I wouldn't let Hulk hear that.
You make a fair point with that.
Oh, they were each other's rivals for a while.
But aren't rivals just two flip sides of the same quesadilla?
Of course. I mean, a lot of rivals are people that are going for a similar thing and kind of feel like the other one's taking up their space. This town ain't big enough for the two of us sort of thing.
Right, but also, who came up with that? Because the town's big enough for not only the two of you, but everybody else that lives there, goddammit.
But the personality, man, that just takes up, a whole town's worth of space.
And maybe you need to move towns, big personality, bub.
Yeah, maybe move to the big personality town where they keep all their guns.
Oof. What other Reddit moving horror stories we got here?
From...
It's Anari.
We were packing up and moving a few states south, and then the moving truck left the day before us with non-essential items, furniture, extra clothes, we got to head out and realize, what?
Yeah, we got to head out and then realize, where's our cat? Called the movers. They said they'd keep an eye out for him. They found him hiding in a hole in the couch, terrified out of his mind. Got him some food and water, but he refused to get out of his hiding spot. Made it to our new place safe and sound, at least. But man, he's terrified of cars now. Used to love him, now sings a song of woe if he so much sees the inside of one.
Oh, God.
Lord.
Wouldn't you love to move 2 states away inside of a furniture?
Oh, wait, go down. We've got user Purple Incarnate. I moved from Texas to Ohio on Greyhound buses. A trunk full of clothes, a cajon, which is a water box drum, full of work clothes, a big-ass 2-layer coat with pockets stuffed full of underwear, and a robe between the 2 coat layers that I wore for a 2.5-day journey. My cat and all of my books are still in Texas.
That is a mood. Jeez. Right there. Holy shit.
He said, I'm literally only going to take clothes.
From Blue Asylum, all of the rooms in the house have white shag carpet. Oof, you hate to see it.
Period. End of story.
Hate to see it. You really do. Concise, that one. Let's look for some other stories here. Moving house stories. I'm moving house in a few weeks. From Dr. Acula. Are you moving your entire house or just the contents?
Well, you can move your whole house if you have a mobile home.
Well, either way, Dr. Acula, you can go fuck yourself.
My baby grand piano when I moved out of my pad in Notting Hill. They make a jib that hangs at the top of the roof to several block and tackle arrangements and basically take your window out and several courses of brick. They attach 2 slings to the piano, swing it out through the hole, and lower it down. Then your piano goes into storage and they survey the new property to find a way of getting it in. That's the theory anyways.
Oh god, there's more.
It had been raining the night before and the jib slipped. The piano upended, fell forward in the sling, breaking the block and slicing the rope in 2. I watched as my irreplaceable antique baby grand fell 4 stories and exploded on the street below.
Can I take the next paragraph?
Yeah.
Not a good look. They do close off that part of the street, though, and there are a bunch of safety protocols in place, so nobody was ever in danger, but still, it was insured, but that wasn't the point, really. The one good thing is, this whole affair is that the piano wouldn't have fit in my new pad anyway, after I had a survey done for a new baby grand, so I guess I got the full market price value for it. But yeah, not really a good day, really.
Yeah, I will say that. I cannot imagine watching your antique and irreplaceable baby grand piano smashed to bits on the sidewalk like you live in a Tom and Jerry cartoon.
What I think sounds even crazier is this idea that the man's was gonna have this shit out. He was gonna have this baby grand piano fucking shoved into storage and then survey his new apartment and then go, well, shit, how the fuck am I gonna get this in my apartment? Well, what you do... Oh, wait. Yeah, all you gotta do is just, drop it from, 4 stories high and break it into a bunch of tiny pieces, and then you just reassemble it on the inside, right? Why didn't he do that?
Or you break it and you claim the insurance money from it, which seems like is what he did.
Actually, yeah, that is what he did. Well, this man needs no advice.
Fair. Interesting. Ponies for the Win says, I worked for a moving company for 2 summers when I was in college. They hired about 4 girls to pack items before the movers came, because sometimes the wives would get nervous about some big oafish men picking up grandma's china. We'd always go to the house a day before the movers came. One day we went to North Carolina to move a doctor's house. We were really excited because doctor's houses were always nice and clean and we'd get tips. The house was really nice on the outside, but when we got in, we found out they were hoarders. I got stuck doing the upstairs bedrooms. The master closet had about 300 men's dress shirts, half with tags still on. There were empty shopping bags and shoe boxes everywhere. The king-size bed wasn't usable because clothes were piled onto it. And the bathroom had a shower and a jacuzzi tub, but the tub was unusable because it was filled with prescriptions.
Yikes!
Full prescriptions. At least 500 prescription bottles. I stole about 300 Vicodin and 150 Percocets without it being noticed.
Oh my god!
At another house, we found sex tapes of the man's wife with other men. It was awkward because she was a nice lady who made us chicken salad sandwiches and milk and cookies for lunch. And then there was this house in New Jersey. End of post.
Do you think that in the sex tape she's also serving them, what was it?
Chicken salad sandwiches with milk and cookies?
Specifically those things. That's her get it on meal.
God, I just... A bathtub full pill bottles. Like...
Where?
And, like, prescription pills that, like, included Vicodin and Percocets. Oh.
How? Did this person raid a hospital, or did they just have a prescription that they never wanted to...
Well, he was a doctor.
Oh.
Because that's why they thought it was going to be a nice house, because it was a doctor's house and it was nice on the outside, and then they got inside and they realized the doctor and his wife were hoarders.
Where the fuck did this doctor get all these pills?
Wrote the prescriptions themselves.
Can doctors just write themselves a fucking bathtub's worth of pills?
I don't know.
I guess so.
I guess.
This man did at least. My old doctor probably did, from what I've heard the stories about him.
Any other,
Man, there are so many threads for this. We should just make our podcast a Reddit thread podcast. Just read Reddit threads all day. Or do you think that'd be too close to the McElroys thing?
I don't know. Movers of Reddit. What is the weirdest, worst, most peculiar thing or experience you've seen or had in someone's home?
Posted by Dumpster Fetus. You forgot that.
What a great name. Well, a redacted user states, not a mover, a welder, but worked in lots of people's homes over the years. This one house had me thinking I was on drugs. Alas, I was not.
Sad.
This lady was a granola in Ojai. Went there to put a handrail on. Walked into the house to be greeted by a wall of dolls. Just fucking dolls everywhere. Thought, well, that's weird, but whatever. Went into the next room, and this is where things went from weird to what the fuck. The entire room was full of animals in glass containers. Not stuffed, not mounted, just dead.
What?
The first one that caught my eye was a squirrel in a giant light bulb. It was slumped over a stick and left to rot. That's it. No attempt to embalm, no attempt at any realism, just haphazardly shoved into a giant light bulb to rot. And there was more. Lots more. All local animals, like she was going around picking up roadkill and shoving them into glass containers to watch as they decomposed.
What?
I was in that fucking room all day. All I could think was, I'm gonna be in a big glass tube soon. That's how I'm gonna go. Not a car crash, not cancer. I'm gonna be with this nut job as an art piece. Perfect.
Nut jobs. Heh squirrels. Thank you, Clayman.
Yikes.
Wow, that's absolutely terrifying. Hey, we got a post from Bernie Sanders.
All right, what is Bernie Sanders weird?
Did this for a summer. Oh, sorry. Should I do the? Can I do a Bernie Sanders impression?
I don't know.
Editor's note: I can't, and I'm sorry. I did this for a summer a number of years ago, and there was a house in one. There was house one. I need to get used to reading bad grammar. There was house one in particular that would always stand out. Family of 4, normal-looking people, 2-story single-family home, no basement. Thought to myself, thank God, an easy gig today. No. There I was very wrong. We walked in and lots of stuff is already in boxes. Thanks. And we're told to head to the kids' room first. 12-year-old kid who likes rocks, really likes rocks, like obsessed with rocks. There are rocks everywhere in his home. Big ones, small ones, gravel, sandstone, bits of clay, seashells, bits of concrete, asphalts, and a pile of what looked like bone fragments. He's a rock collector, Mom says. No fucking kidding. There were so many rocks in the room that you could only see narrow paths between the door, the bed, and the closet, which, indeed, was full of rocks. His sister's room was fine and mostly packed besides the furniture and the boxes full of belongings. And the parents' room was similar, everything normal, somewhat neatly packed. So we shoved the rocks in the wagons to clear the room. The dad was upset that the shovels were going to stretch the carpet. Okay, dude. We loaded several 100 pounds of rocks into that truck on that day. Business as usual after that. Felt odd that the family didn't even seem to be bothered by it. They gave us an extra $100 though for our troubles.
So many rocks.
That's, maybe the family was just so used to this boy's rock obsession that they just didn't even faze them anymore.
They were like, this is normal, right? Like, there are grown women that collect crystals, so my son can collect pieces of concrete and asphalt.
That is a genius geologist in the making. Just wait, see one day. Bernie's
got a bunch of like dumbass rocks, man.
Bernie Sander, whoever you are, you gotta find this kid again and see what his career is looking like. Well, it was only 2 years ago. He's probably still just collecting at this point. Kind of curious if I can get anything off of this. Page 10 of Google. What we got?
Well, it's just gonna give you ones that are further out. Oh, giant movers, 2 stars.
Giant movers, 2 stars. All right. Let's check it out. What we got here? They don't have any words.
Then just go to the first page and click on one and sort them by worst part of the review.
It turns out people do their jobs well around here. That's a shame.
Not or I said just look up Reddit stories for it.
This is all boring shit. I've given up on it.
Okay, I'm picking a movie.
Okay. Well, as I sit and wallow in my defeat, Aubrey's gonna go to the bathroom, so enjoy these ads. Hey, instead of an ad here, I just wanted to take the moment to thank you guys for bearing with us these past 2 weeks. I mean, everybody takes breaks, but we probably could have said something about it. I don't know. Regardless, I appreciate you guys still sticking around, and hopefully this new year brings lots of new, interesting ideas and really stupid topics. Also, if anybody knows where I could get a hold of a goblin, that would be tight, because ours disappeared in the move. All right. We are back.
I had an interesting thought the other day, and it was something I hadn't thought about in a while. I was thinking about the movie The Wizard of Oz, the one with Judy Garland, the classic. As a kid, I had the movie on VHS, and I watched it so many times. Like, every time I would go to my grandmother's house, and my grandmother took care of me for, like, the first 5 years of my life, since my parents are teachers. I would watch it every day. Never get tired of that shit. But I haven't watched it in a long time, and I was thinking about it, because we all know Judy Garland had to endure some pretty awful, terrible things in her acting career. But, like, very specifically, we know that she was really abused during The Wizard of Oz, as an actor, at least. I would say as a human, as well. But I was like, I wonder if there's any other fucked up stuff that happened in that movie, because I know a couple of other things that have happened.
Oh yeah, there's plenty of rumors about, like, certain things, for sure.
Well, I have a definitive list of everything that is why we consider The Wizard of Oz to have been a cursed movie. A cursed movie as in, like, the movie set was cursed.
Yeah, okay.
So, to start out, many of the actors who played Munchkins were extremely unruly and inappropriate. The Munchkin actors' antics on The Wizard of Oz were frankly bizarre, and it is said that they engaged in gambling, excessively aggressive drunken behavior, and group adult activities at the Culver Hotel where they were staying. Supposedly, one Munchkin actor even got stuck in a toilet bowl during a drunken lunch break and had to be rescued. The police were called several times to the hotel in regards to the quote-unquote Munchkins.
Sounds like a bunch of Frank Reynolds running around on a movie set.
There were also several of the Munchkin men that would grope her and sexually harass her, as quoted by Judy Garland's husband. He said, they'd made Judy's life miserable on set, putting their hands under her dress, and these men were 40 years old or more. They thought they could get away with anything because they were so small. Which...
Strange.
It sucks because, like, I do feel bad for the actors who played the Munchkins because they all got paid less than the dog actor that played Toto.
I mean, maybe that's why they were so unruly.
Yeah.
They knew they weren't getting paid jack shit, but they needed them because they needed people of that size to do the role. When was this filmed? In, like, the 50s?
The 1930s.
The 30s, yeah. Wow. Yeah, not surprising.
30s, 40s, yeah.
As a kid, when I saw that movie, I legitimately was in such disbelief that they could have gotten so many people of that height to all in one place for a movie, because I was a kid who didn't understand anything. I legitimately thought they just took the movie screen, like what they filmed, and then just like cut out a part of it to make them look shorter.
No. No, they're real little people.
No, it made absolutely no sense. I know. Yeah. Wow.
The most, the most well-known of all of the things on this list is, of course, going to be how poorly Judy Garland was treated, not only by the so-called Munchkins, but also by production and the people involved on that side of things. It was not uncommon for young female actors to be under a contract, which was going to get them systematically mistreated and overworked. Judy Garland was given adrenaline shots to keep her awake and barbiturates to help her sleep. And this was many young actor females at this time were being treated like this. It wasn't just Judy Garland.
God.
She was taking pills before The Wizard of Oz, though, because this was such a very common practice. But when she got Wizard of Oz, she started using them more frequently and was also given diet pills to slim down.
Yikes.
The studio executives often called her the fat little pig with pigtails.
Oh my god, what the fuck?
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Part of the reason they wanted her to lose weight was because they initially wanted Dorothy to be much younger. They wanted Shirley Temple, but due to not knowing if Shirley Temple could do the vocals that were needed for Dorothy,
Fair.
They went with Judy Garland because she had a stronger voice.
Oh my god, though.
But it seems like they really resented that they didn't get Shirley Temple, honestly, and took it out on her.
That's insanely unfair. But I mean, I guess this is in a time that we still really didn't treat people like people, huh?
Yeah.
So,
we also, as a society, we didn't have as much knowledge as we do now on things like sleeping pills, dieting pills, and things like that.
And how you can become addicted to them and, like, ruin your life with them and all that stuff.
Yeah. She was also kept to a strict diet, which included cigarettes as well. Which is well known as an appetite suppressant. But it's hilarious to think her diet included that.
That's...
At this day,
Yeah, at her age, too.
Yeah, I mean, being 17 years old, I think is how old she was.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I believe she was 17. And they wanted her to look 12. Weird. Moving on, the Wicked Witch was burned on set twice. Like, fully immersed in fire burned.
Oh.
During a take of the scene in which the Wicked Witch escapes Munchkinland in a plume of smoke pretty early on in the movie, the pyrotechnics were accidentally set off too early, and the trapdoor which she was to fall through malfunctioned, causing actress Margaret Hamilton and her broom, hat, and makeup to catch fire. Her face and hands were badly burned, and the medics had to use alcohol to remove the toxic makeup, which was also extremely painful.
Oh my god, I bet.
After
Holy
returning
shit.
to work, because obviously they had to take her to the hospital after that, when she returned to work, they asked her to film the Surrender Dorothy scene, which is another smoke effects pyrotechnic thing.
Oh my god.
And, she refused, so they sent her stunt double, Betty Danko, to take over, and Danko also suffered a similar injury during the scene and was hospitalized.
You'd think that, like, if shit like this didn't work and got people injured back in the day, that they would just not do it or try to find a different way.
Yeah. But Margaret Hamilton, the Wicked Witch, that wasn't the only thing she endured. In addition to being highly flammable, the witch's green makeup was also toxic. Margaret Hamilton accidentally swallowed some and was unable to eat for days. Her skin also stayed green several weeks due to the copper in the makeup.
God, could you imagine walking around on your day-to-day basis and you look like you're actually the Green Giant?
You actually look like the Wicked Witch of the West?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the movie hadn't come out yet. No one knew who that was.
This is true. Speaking of toxic makeup, we also have to talk about the
Tin
second
Man.
most well-known, the Tin Man.
Yeah, sorry. I was in the play, so I heard
So you
about
gotta
this
know.
one at least. Yeah, I played the Tin Man, so...
I think about it every time somebody does a Tin Man look, because I'm like, silver makeup, oh my god, it's gonna kill you.
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah, brother straight up died from the all the paint that they put on him, right?
Yeah, so Buddy Ebsen was supposed to be the Tin Man, but an
Yeah.
allergic reaction to aluminum powder in the silver-colored makeup forced him to be hospitalized in an oxygen tent. Apparently, no one told the cast why Ebsen left the production. Due to the way studio contracts functioned at the time, Jack Haley was forced into the role, and the production team switched to an aluminum paste, but that caused an eye infection for the guy who was actually in the movie.
Yikes.
And yes, I do believe that aluminum powder did eventually lead to Buddy Ebsen's death, because it was so toxic and it was in there already.
Yeah.
Once it's on your skin, it's being put right in your bloodstream, basically.
Yeah, pretty That's crazy.
But, it wasn't all for nothing. Buddy Ebsen's voice can still be heard a few places in the soundtrack.
Man, could you imagine dying for a movie that you didn't even get to be in?
Yeah, it would be really upsetting for me personally.
People really did be throwing their lives away in the 30s, huh?
Yeah,
I guess we do it now, too.
and the guy who played the Scarecrow also said the mask that he had to wear put imprints in his face that lasted for about a year.
Oh, God. He looked like his face was like mesh?
Or just
That's
like
terrifying.
extra cloth. Oh.
I hate that. That's cursed.
Now, this isn't the only time actors were poisoned. Just about everybody was poisoned when the actors were sprinkled with toxic fake snow. And when they fall asleep in that poppy field, they're magically awakened by the gentle falling snow. Well, that beautiful snowfall was created using asbestos!
Woo! Yay, asbestos!
Asbestos fibers were often used as fake snow from the 30s to the 50s, both in people's homes as holiday decor and in films like The Wizard of Oz. It wasn't until years later that people discovered the dangers of asbestos far too late to help the actors who were obviously exposed.
And dying.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't kill them, but obviously they had been exposed to it, so it probably did do a little damage.
Oh, yeah. I more so meant the process of dying, not actually. Yeah, that's terrible. Oh, wait. We're to the Cowardly Lion. I think I know one of these, actually. If I'm correct, he caught on fire at one point because there was a motor that would keep his, tail moving around. Like, there was a motor in the back of his suit that would make his tail whip around and make it look, lifelike. And at one point, it overheated and actually, caught his suit on fire. Because it was a motor inside of a cloth costume.
I actually don't have that on this list.
Yeah, Editor Mason's doing some research too, and he can't find anything either. I'm just gonna assume that I came up with this. I fucking don't know. I learned that at the same time as a Tin Man one.
I'd be interested, though, to see... Although I doubt they would be able to put a motor in this costume due to the next statement. The Cowardly Lion actor Bert Lahr's costume was very authentic. So authentic, in fact, it weighed about 90 pounds because it was made of real lion pelt.
What?
Yeah, and it produced a very offensive and unpleasant odor from having a sweaty human trapped in it all day.
I bet.
And Lahr remembers spending about 3 hours each day in the makeup chair, as did Scarecrow and Tin Man. In fact, the makeup for all the actors took so much time, all 3 actors were not allowed to take off their costumes or makeup. Their odd appearance while in costume also frightened people dining in the commissary, so they had to eat their lunch on set.
Wow, they weren't even allowed to eat food with the regular people because they looked freaky. That's so fucking mean.
Also, after a day of filming, the Cowardly Lion suit would be so moist from sweat and gross, nasty body smells that it took 2 stage assistants 3 hours to get it dry every night.
Wouldn't you love to be that person doing that job?
I just want to say, whoever you are, God rest your soul.
God rest your soul in all the mountains of lion sweat. Maybe the thing I heard came from a stage adaptation of it then. Because, yeah, it sounds like they couldn't have fit something like that inside of his suit. Or at least it would have gotten so wet, within the first hour of filming, it would have... Well, yeah, you think about it, stage, especially like stage and set acting, like that shit's hot as fuck already when you're wearing normal ass clothes and all those lights.
Plus, the studio lighting brought temperature on set to over 100 degrees.
So yeah, what I was just saying.
Yeah. Technicolor became really popular in the 1930s and allowed colors to appear extremely vivid and highly saturated, but it also required very bright lighting for filming. The intense lighting setup caused temperatures in the studio to soar above 100 degrees, and there were issues with carbon dioxide buildup. Production had to be stopped occasionally so the studio could be aired out. The Winkies and the Winged Monkeys had heavy costumes and really struggled in the heat, with some allegedly coming close to heat stroke.
Wow, and they were hardly in the movie.
Yeah, but they've got to wear those big old thick outfits. I mean...
Yeah, I mean, I assume that, like, they would be fucking shooting, like, 100 times before they actually got what they needed.
We also have some animal cruelty on set, but it sounds accidental. It really does. A Winky accidentally trampled Toto and broke her paw.
Aww.
Toto was played by a female Karen Terrier named Terry. During filming, one of the Wicked Witch's Winky guards accidentally stepped on Terry and broke her paw. Terry had to be replaced for the next 4 weeks of filming. Despite her injury, it was said that Toto received a higher paycheck than many of the Munchkin actors, of course, as I mentioned before. And then I've got 3 more, and then that'll be all of the fun facts that have... Well, these ones have, like, proof behind them, so it's, like, interesting to hear the ones that are factual rather than... I mean, you can find all kinds of theories on the internet about these.
Yeah, all that bullshit.
The original look for the Wicked Witch was sultry, but producers decided evil should translate to ugly. Clearly we learned our lesson once we put on the stage play Wicked.
Apparently so, yeah.
Gail Sondergaard was cast first, but dropped out because she exclusively wanted to play beautiful roles. What privilege, Gail. What privilege.
Right?
Her replacement, Margaret Hamilton, was very good at being ugly scary. So good, in fact, that many of her scenes had to be cut for being too scary, and she wound up appearing in less than 20 minutes of the final film.
Wow, fucking too good at your job.
Yeah. She reprised her role as the Wicked Witch of the West in a 1976 episode of Sesame Street, but was also considered too scary. Even away from the Land of Oz. The episode aired once and was subsequently banned.
This lady was ahead of her time. I feel so bad for her.
I feel like a kinship with her because I'm like, I like the Wicked Witch of the West, but yeah, as a kid, she scared the shit out of me. But as an adult, I'm like, that's the kind of actor I want to be. I want to be able to do ugly, scary, creepy, scary, you know. I want to have that kind of versatility rather than being like Miss Gail Sondergaard up here, who's like, I'll only play beautiful women.
I'll only be in this film if it'll make me look hot.
Which, I mean, I feel like that's a little shitty. I mean, you're missing out. The fun roles are not the hot ones, let me tell you what.
Well, I mean, I don't know. We don't know what Gail got into it for. Maybe she was there just to pick up the men's.
I don't know. But good on Margaret Hamilton for giving them what they want at such a great personal cost. Such a large personal cost.
Seriously? Could you? Oh my god. Yeah, and she like had all that toxic paint all over and all that shit too. And
got burned?
Oh my god.
And was green for weeks after filming.
And only, would you say more than half of her scenes were cut?
Yeah, this sounds like it. It sounds like she had a much bigger part in the movie beforehand, but they cut it due to being too scary.
Knowing the books and where The Wizard of Oz comes from, it kind of just sounds like that was the source material. And they should have, expected that. Just like a little bit. I don't know.
This one to me was the wildest. In a scene where they're actually in the Emerald City, there is a carriage pulled by a bright red horse.
Oh, and yeah, it changes color.
Yeah, today, we could do that with CGI. But it was 1939 when they filmed this movie, so they had to be a little more creative.
Oh, no.
And by creative, I mean smear Jell-O all over the horse.
Jell-O?
Yeah, they cast a white horse in the role of Emerald City chauffeur, which was, of course, red, and sponged it down with gelatin powder in between shots. The horse apparently liked the flavor and would try to lick the powder off. If you watch the scene closely, you can actually see the cart driver visibly trying to keep the colorful horse from licking itself.
Oh, fuck, I gotta go watch that now. That's funny.
And, like, in my mind, I was like, is that animal cruelty? Is Jell-O safe to put on a horse? So, if there's any veterinarians or PETA people that have some knowledge on that, please let me know, is coating a horse in Jell-O animal abuse?
Yes, our 10 listeners, if any of you know, please let us know.
Or if you have an opinion on such a thing. And then here's our last one. One of the scenes was cut for fear of association with alcohol. Now, I'm aware of this scene because if you've ever seen the Wizard of Oz musical done on stage, the jitterbug is usually included. And it's a pretty good song and a cute little dance they do in this creepy forest. When they filmed the movie in 1939, they cut it because they didn't want the film to be associated with the popular Cab Calloway song, Call of the Jitterbug, which associated the jitterbug with alcohol. Weirdly, in the final film, a line referring to this scene still exists. So if you've ever wondered what the witch was referring to when she mentioned sending insects after Dorothy, that's what it is.
Wow. Small brain play, cut the part. Big brain play. It's the fucking Wizard of Oz. That movie ended up being so... I mean, this is hindsight, but I mean, that movie ended up being so big. I mean, everybody knows everything from the Wizard of Oz. Do you think that fucking down the road anybody was going to remember what the fuck a jitterbug was?
Well, the jitterbug, I always just think of the jitterbug.
Well, that too, but I think that's newer.
No, it's the beginning of Wake Me Up Before You Go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wake me up.
Before you go.
Yeah, that one.
Anyways. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we had weird thoughts then, and also, when was Prohibition?
That was in the 20s, right? Let me look. Yeah, in the 20s. So it was only about...
Oh, and in the 30s. But we were still on that whole alcohol's a bad thing. Even after Prohibition, there was still a lot of religious influence on... We shouldn't be drinking, we shouldn't be glamorizing getting drunk and stuff, whereas now we're not as concerned about that, and we show all kinds of alcohol and drug use and everything, because we realize...
It's cool!
No, I think we just realize that, like, to cut those things out and to purposefully exclude them is almost like a false storytelling, and... It can, I don't know, it can add something to the story.
Yeah, and it's fucking awesome. And then actors can fucking, like, drink beer on set and get, like, drunk and stuff. Isn't that cool?
No, they can't.
It's fucking awesome.
You're drinking apple juice, not
Tight
beer.
as shit. Apple juice and a cigarette. Ooh. Great way to start my morning.
It's an apple juice and a clove cigarette, okay?
Okay, well, I don't know what those are.
Basically a tobacco-less cigarette.
Weird.
I don't know. There's all kinds of rules about eating and drinking on set and things like that. And I'm very interested in food props.
Oh, I thought we were just going to end it there.
Oh, okay.
Do we ever do
So
an outro?
thanks for joining us as we learned some horrific moving stories from people across the internet and took a deeper look into the darkness and cursedness of the movie set of 1939's Wizard of Oz. Where everyone was being treated poorly, except production. Probably.
Yeah, it's great to get back in here. And hopefully next time, we'll be doing it with a guest.
Come back and listen and find out. What are we talking about?